Everybody, we're going to work through the next 6. Count 7. I'm going to make the font bigger. I'm going to try to make the font bigger. That's just weird. There we go. All right, given a non-negative integer n, return the count of the occurrences of 7 as a digit. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is check if n is less than 7. We return 0 because that's not the number 7. And then we're going to say if n modulo 10 is equal to 7. That's if the far right digit is a 7. And we're going to return 1 plus count 7. So we're going to remove that far right digit and divide it by 10. Otherwise, we're going to return count 7 and divide it by 10. So if it helps, I can put this on the next line and tab it in. I don't need to do else here because it will only get to this line if it didn't get triggered already. So yep, that does it. Next, count the number of 8s. Except that if there's an 8 followed by an 8, its left counts double. Or they both count double. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, got it. So if we're going to be checking the number to the left, we have to make sure our digit is big enough to do that. So I'm going to say if n is greater than 10, that means we can check 2 digits. It's a 2-digit number. So then inside here, we're going to say if n modulo 10 equal 8, if the far right digit is an 8, then we're going to check the next digit over. If n modulo 10, n divided by 10, we're lopping off the far right digit, and now we're doing modulo 10 again, equal 8. That means I lopped off the 8 that was there, and I'm checking the next digit. Is that also an 8? Then we return 2 plus count 8, and divided by 10. Remember, we're just taking 1 off still. But we have to account for there just being a single 8. And that would be return. I'm going to just copy this to save myself the typing. We're going to return 1 because we found 1 8. Here's where we found 2 8s. Here we only found 1 8. And if it wasn't an 8, then we need to return pasted. We return nothing in front. You could say 0 plus, but we're lopping off the digit. So says missing a return. Oh, that's just if it's greater than 10. God, I guess I have to check if it's an 8. If n is equal to an 8, I think there's probably an easier way to do this. Return. We're now a single digit number, so we're going to return 1, and then we're going to return 0. So there may be a more elegant way to do it, and kudos to you if you did that. but I got it done, didn't I? Next one, given base and n that are both 1 or more, compute recursively, no loops, the value of that base to the n power. So, okay. We got 2 numbers sent in. So if n equals 0, return 1. That's our base case. Otherwise, we're going to return base times power n. We're calling it again with the same base, but 1 less power. The reason we do the return 1 is once, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I was right. You got to return something. You got to get out of there somehow, and we're just doing it times 1 in the end when the power is down to 0. So, anyway, you can play with it if you need more help. We're going to do count x, count high, and change xy. So count x. We're doing a string, and we got to count how many x's there are. And you don't get to create a variable called sum or total or count because there's no persistent variable. You keep calling this function over and over again. So what we're going to do is I'm going to look at the first character. String t equals str substring 0, 1. That's the first character. If t dot equals lowercase x, I'm going to return 1 plus count x string, sorry, not string, str substring 1. Substring 1 sends the rest of the, pops off the first character. And otherwise, we're going to return count x str substring 1 without the 1 plus in front. And it says I'm missing. You probably saw this a long time ago. Ooh, bada boom. I think we probably have to just check if the string's empty. If str.length is equal to 0, return 0. Yeah, there are no x's if the string is empty. Cool. There you go. Next, count high. Here, we're going to check, the base case is going to be if the string is no longer 2 characters long, we don't have to check, and we can't check if the word high is in there. So if str.length is less than 2, return 0. There aren't any words high if it's only a 1-character string or if it's empty. And now, we're going to check if... I'm going to do this without doing the temp variable. If str.substring 0, 2 equals high, return 1 plus count high str substring. I'm going to do substring 1. That just lops 1 character off, moves us along. And then otherwise, I'm going to put this here, but without the 1 plus. We just lop 1 character off and keep trying. Okay. I think I'm supposed to be looking for high lowercase, and that's why I didn't find anything. So much better. There you go. And change xy. All lowercase x characters have been changed to y characters. If str.length is 0, return nothing. I'll try that. I don't remember what I did last time I did this. It was over a year ago. But now, if str.substring 0, 1 equals x, return y plus str.substring, sorry, we're calling change xy str.substring. We're going to lop off the first character. Otherwise, we return change. Which would be better? Just better. If it's an x, we're replacing it with a y. Otherwise, we have to. I think we have to return. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try returning the first character. Plus, we do have to call the recursive method, but we couldn't call it with the same thing because that would be a forever loop. So that's str substring 1 again. So we're always lopping something off every time we call. We'll see if that works. Bada boom. I almost put an X here, but the problem is then I think it would replace all things that weren't an X with an X. That would be wrong. Like, I'll just do it for your enjoyment. We get a lot of failures because code gets turned, everything gets turned into X's. So yeah, but what we're doing here is sending the first character and then chopping off the first character. Because if you just called this without chopping it off, it would go forever. All right, that's it. I believe that's the 6 I asked you to do right now.